There are political figures, and then there are phenomena. Donald Trump exists in a category that reshaped modern media, where politics, personality, controversy, and spectacle collide into a single gravitational force. Every appearance carries weight, every interview carries tension, every reaction becomes a headline before the cameras even stop rolling. This moment did not begin with a question. It began years earlier, with a public figure who learned how to command attention in an era addicted to conflict, speed, and reaction. Trump does not enter conversations quietly. He enters them as pressure, as volume, as certainty, and when that certainty is challenged in real time, the result is never small. The stage of confrontation. Television studios are designed for control. Lighting calibrated, timing precise, segments structured. The illusion of order is part of the product. But live confrontation ignores structure. It exposes fault lines. It reveals personalities under pressure. This setting brings together two figures built for intensity. Piers Morgan, a broadcaster known for confrontation and persistence. Donald Trump, a former president whose media instincts are sharpened by decades of public combat. When these two forces align, neutrality evaporates. The air becomes heavy with expectation. This is not background noise television. This is appointment viewing. Trump's presence is a weapon. Donald Trump does not rely on subtlety. His presence is direct, dominant, and unmistakable. His cadence is familiar to millions. His posture signals control. His confidence does not waver easily, even when challenged. This is a man who has navigated boardrooms, rallies, courtrooms, and global summits. Media confrontation is not foreign territory. It is terrain he has walked repeatedly, learning where to push and where to stand firm. Every reaction carries intention. Every response is shaped by experience. Whether admired or criticized, his ability to seize narrative space is undeniable. The spark that ignites the moment. The confrontation escalates not through chaos, but through friction. A remark, a reference, a challenge tied to criticism from a public figure. The kind of comment that, in another context, might pass quietly. Here, it detonates. Trump's reaction is immediate, not explosive for spectacle, but firm with conviction. The moment sharpens. The atmosphere shifts. This is no longer casual commentary. This is a test of dominance, composure, and narrative control. The audience feels it instantly. This is the kind of moment television cannot manufacture, only capture. Why the moment feels bigger than television? Because it represents the era we live in. An era where politics is inseparable from media. Where emotion outpaces policy. Where reaction travels faster than explanation. Trump understands this ecosystem instinctively. He does not wait for framing. He creates it. He does not follow the rhythm of the show. He imposes his own. That is the wow factor. The ability to bend the format without breaking stride. Media, power, and performance. This is not simply about disagreement. It is about control, about who dictates tone, about who owns the moment when tension rises. Piers Morgan presses. Trump resists. The exchange becomes a live demonstration of modern power dynamics. Not power through position, but power through presence. The camera captures everything. Body language, facial shifts, pauses that speak louder than words. This is performance without rehearsal. The viral aftershock. Within minutes, the clip escapes the studio. Social platforms ignite. Headlines multiply. Commentary explodes from every direction. Supporters praise strength. Critics dissect tone. Analysts debate implications. This is the second life of the moment. The digital echo chamber where every reaction becomes content, and every angle becomes a narrative. Trump's appearances are built for this environment. Short, intense, memorable. Designed not for silence, but for circulation. Why Trump remains unavoidable? Because he understands attention is currency. He understands conflict is fuel. He understands that in a saturated media landscape, neutrality disappears instantly. This moment reinforces what has defined his public life. He does not fade into interviews. He overtakes them. He does not adapt to the room. He reshapes it. Love him or oppose him, disengagement is nearly impossible. The wow moment defined. The wow moment is not a single reaction. It is the realization that this is still one of the most commanding figures in modern media. A man whose presence alone can tilt the balance of a broadcast. It is the reminder that politics today is as much about perception as policy. As much about dominance as discussion. It is watching a format struggle to contain a personality that refuses to be contained. The broader context. This moment exists within a larger pattern. interviews that turn confrontational, exchanges that go viral, media appearances that dominate cycles. Trump's relationship with television has always been symbiotic. He uses it uses him, and the audience watches, drawn by the promise of unpredictability. This is not accidental, it is practiced, refined, effective. The final impact: when the broadcast ends, the moment continues. In clips, in debates, in reactions, in arguments that extend far beyond the studio walls. This is how modern political moments live now. Not as isolated events, but as rolling waves of attention. And Donald Trump remains at the center of that current. A moment that defines an era. This was not just an interview. It was a snapshot of contemporary media, power, and personality colliding in real time. It was a reminder that some figures do not simply participate in media. They dominate it. And when they do, the world watches. The moment does not end when the broadcast cuts. In modern media, that is only the beginning. The real impact begins afterward, when footage escapes the studio and enters the global bloodstream of the internet. What was once a controlled interview becomes a living, expanding event. Clips are cut, headlines sharpen, reactions multiply, and the narrative evolves faster than anyone can contain it. Donald Trump understands this phase better than almost anyone alive. The post-broadcast era is where influence is amplified, not diminished. It is where perception overtakes context, and emotion outruns explanation. The confrontation becomes a symbol rather than a segment, a reference point rather than a discussion. This is where the moment grows teeth. The digital amplifier. Social platforms ignite instantly. Short clips dominate timelines. Thumbnails exaggerate intensity. Captions sharpen edges. Every pause, every expression, every shift in posture is analyzed, replayed, and repurposed. Supporters see strength. Critics see aggression. Analysts see strategy. Casual viewers see spectacle. The same footage becomes multiple realities, depending on who is watching. This is the environment Trump has always thrived in. Not because it is fair, but because it is loud. And volume is power. Presence over policy. In this era, moments matter more than manifestos. Impact matters more than explanation. The exchange becomes proof of endurance, dominance, and resilience under pressure. Trump's value in moments like this is not informational. It is emotional. He projects certainty in a world addicted to doubt. He projects defiance in an environment that expects apology. Whether embraced or rejected, that projection commands attention. This is not accidental behavior. It is a cultivated instinct refined over decades of public exposure. The media ecosystem responds. Cable networks replay the footage. Commentators slow it down, frame by frame. Articles dissect tone, posture, intent. Panels argue not about what was said, but about what it meant. This is where Trump's mastery becomes visible. The conversation is no longer about the original topic. It is about him, his reaction, his control, his refusal to soften. In media terms, that is victory. The wow factor multiplies. The wow moment deepens when viewers realize this is not rehearsed dominance. This is instinctive. Trump does not retreat when pressure increases. He solidifies. He expands. He occupies more space. The wow is not shock. It is consistency. The realization that years later, after presidencies, elections, investigations, and relentless scrutiny, the presence remains intact. Few public figures survive that level of exposure without erosion. Fewer still maintain command. A figure built for conflict. Trump's public identity was never shaped for consensus. It was shaped for collision. Conflict does not weaken him, it sharpens him. Resistance does not silence him, it amplifies him. That is why moments like this feel inevitable. Not staged, not forced, but aligned with the architecture of his persona. This is a man forged in confrontation, not dialogue. Why the format struggles. Interview formats are built for exchange. Trump transforms them into arenas. The structure bends. The rhythm breaks. The expected flow collapses under force of personality. This is not a failure of journalism or hosting. It is a mismatch of intention. One side seeks conversation, the other seeks dominance. And dominance changes everything. The symbolism of the moment. Beyond politics, this moment represents something larger. The evolution of public discourse. The shift from explanation to emotion. The elevation of presence over precision. Trump is not the cause of this transformation, but he is its most visible embodiment. He reflects the media world as it is, not as it once was. That reflection is uncomfortable, undeniable, and impossible to ignore. The aftermath continues. Days later, the clip resurfaces again. Referenced in debates. Quoted in arguments. Reused in montages, it becomes shorthand for a broader narrative. This is how modern moments live. Not in full context, but in fragments. Not in explanation, but in impression. Trump understands this instinctively. He does not chase clarity. He creates impact, the enduring presence. What lingers is not the controversy itself, but the demonstration of endurance. The ability to step into hostile environments and emerge unchanged. That is the true wow moment. Not volume, not reaction, but resilience. Decades into public life, Donald Trump remains unmuted. A moment that refuses to fade. This was not just another interview. It was another chapter in a long narrative about power, media, and personality in the modern age. It reinforced why some figures fade while others persist. Why some moments disappear while others echo. And why, even now, the moment the camera is turned toward Donald Trump, the world still pays attention.